Welcome, my brothers of second grade primary school. That's a week time for science, and today we will have a new lesson and a new revision or a new episode. حلقة جديدة جدا، حلقة خاصة about what all we have studied in this semester or in this term. So I remind you, بفكركم تاني, we have studied many lessons, many interesting lessons about mass and weight, also about the temperature and also type of thermometers, and also have studied a unit of gases, which are carbon dioxide gas, oxygen gas, and nitrogen gas. And also we have studied at last two main and important systems in the human body, which are the nervous system and the locomotory system. So today we have a very important selection of questions. So please have a paper and pen now and try to record this episode because it's a very important questions for you. So let's start without delaying. The first question, which is from my point of view, من وجهة نظري الشخصية, it's the beloved question. هو أكتر سؤال محبوب عندكم في الامتحان هو سؤال label the following diagram. Label the following diagram. So let's start with this question. So I have here many pictures or many images. The question says label the following diagram. Label the following diagram يعني حط البيانات على الرسم أو اكتب البيانات الموجودة على الرسم اللي قدامك. So what is this picture? What is this image? So it's the nerve cell or the neuron. So I can write it's the nerve cell. Let us write with us nerve cell or neuron. What about number one? Number one will be nucleus. Number one will be nucleus. Number two will be axon. نرجع للرسم تاني. Number one nucleus. Number two will be axon. Number three will be dendritis. وقلنا عليها تفرعات شجرية, and it's very important in transferring the nerve messages between the cells. Number four at last is the axon terminal. So again, in this picture or in this image, I have the nerve cell or the neuron, الخلايا العصبية. Again, the nerve cell or the neuron أو بنسميها الخلايا العصبية. It consists of nucleus number one, axon number two, and dendritis number three, and also the axon terminals at last. So again, I have a picture here for the nerve cell. Let us have the image again. Number one, as we see, number one is the nucleus. Number two is the axon. And I remind you, the axon is covered with what? With myelin sheath. عارفين كويس قوي الأكسون بتغطى بمادة اسمها myelin sheath. هي مادة fatty layer, مادة دهنية. And also number three is the dendritis. At last, number four is the axon terminal. So please revise all the drawings and all the gas preparation you have studied. Another one, it's a very important device. What is that? It's the thermometer. هو ده طبعا thermometer. It is the Celsius or medical. Surely it will be the medical thermometer. I have here four arrows. عندنا أربع أسهم. Number one refers to mercury pulp أو مستودع الزئبق أو خزان الزئبق. Number one refers to mercury pulp. Arrow number two refers to constriction الاختناق. وده موضوع مهم جدا أو نقطة مهمة جدا في التhermometer. Give reason there is a constriction in the medical thermometer to prevent mercury back. عشان يمنع الميركوري يرجع بسرعة فيديني فرصة أقرأ الحرارة بدقة. Number three, it will be the capillary tube, and at last number four, it will be the thick glass transparent tube. Again, thick glass transparent tube. So here I have four labels or four data, and you can أربع بيانات. Number one will be the mercury pulp. Number two will be the constriction. Number three is the capillary tube أو بنسميها أنبوبة شعرية. Capillary tube. It's a very very fine and thin tube. هي أنبوبة دقيقة جدا ورفيعة جدا عشان يمشي جواها الميركوري. And at last number four will be the thick glass transparent tube أو ممكن أختصرها أقول glass tube. So here I have four data: mercury pulp here, mercury pulp, and constriction number two. Number three will be capillary tube, and at last number four will be the thick glass transparent tube. So here I have a very important give reason. Let me write it please. The question says that give reason نكتب مع بعض. Give reason there is a constriction. يعني ليه في اختناق. There is a constriction in the medical thermometer. Surely I have a very important answer for this question. سؤال مهم جدا. ليه عندنا constriction في الترمومتر الطبي؟ So the answer will be that to prevent mercury back. عشان يمنع الميركوري انه يرجع تاني بسرعة and give me the chance, give me the opportunity to read the temperature correctly. So again, there is a constriction in the medical thermometer to prevent mercury back, So now let us have another image, صورة تانية, or another labeling diagram, Surely it will be the lower or the upper limb. Surely it will be the lower limb, الأطراف السفلية, lower limbs. Number one, it will be the femur bone, عظام الفخذ. Number two will be shaft bones, عظام الساق. And number three will be the foot bone. So let me write them again. I have here the lower limb, الأطراف السفلية. نكتب مع بعض lower limbs. Number one will be what? Number one will be the femur bone only. هي عظمة واحدة بس بنسميها عظمة الفخذ, femur bone. Number two will be shaft bones, عظام الساق. عشان كده بقول bones, هما 2 bones مش 1 bone only. And at last number three will be the foot bones, عظام القدم, foot bone. So here I have three types of bones, which are femur bone, shaft bones, and at last foot bone. So it will be the lower limbs, الأطراف السفلية. And I remind you, lower limbs are very important in carrying the rest of the body, and also they are very important in walking and running and anything, and also carrying the rest of the body. ليها وظيفة مهمة جدا lower limb في المشي, walking, running, الجري, أو carrying the rest of the body. So now let us have another image or another picture for this question. Label the following diagram. This question or this image is very important because it illustrates the very important upper limb, الأطراف العلوية, upper limb. Number one will be humerus bone, أو عظام العضد. Number one will be humerus bone. Number two will be forearm bones, and at last number three will be hand bones. Again, number one will be humerus bone. Number two will be forearm bone. هنا four مش معناها أربعة, لا, four FORE, يعني أطراف الساق أو اليد الأمامية أو الذراع الأمامية. Again, number one humerus bone, number two forearm bones, and at last number three hand bone. So let me write them again. This is the upper limb. نكتب مع بعض upper limb, الأطراف العلوية, upper limb. Number one will be humerus. Number two will be four. Please note the spelling here. ناخد بالنا من السبيلنج كويس قوي. Four, FORE, four arm bones برضو هنا لأنهم عظمتين مش عظمة واحدة, لكن humerus هي عظمة واحدة بس, humerus bone only. And at last number three, hand bones. Okay, so I have a question now. What is the function of the upper limb? إيه وظيفة الupper limb? It's very important in holding things, in catching things, in writing, and also in praying. But please don't use your upper limb in violence. يا ريت ما نستخدمش الupper limb أو حتى كمان lower limb في العنف. Please, we must take care of ourselves and must take care of the others, and we must be thoughtful of the others because violence leads to dangerous problem. So another drawing or another image for preparation of a very important gas which we have studied, which is the oxygen gas. So let us see this image. The oxygen gas is prepared by what? I remind you, أفكركم تاني, is prepared by the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide in the presence of manganese dioxide powder as a كاتاليست. ناخد بالنا كويس قوي ازاي بنحضر الاكسجين جاز عن طريق تحلل او تحليل لماده اسمها هيدروجين بيروكسيد او اكسجين ووتر. هي اسمها كده ميه اكسجين، يبقى هاخد منها اكسجين وهيتبقى منها الميه. ازاي؟ في وجود ماده مهمه قوي بنسميها الكاتاليست او عامل حفاز، هو منجنيز دايوكسيد باتر. تاخد بالنا كويس قوي من الاسم، اسمه منجنيز مش مغنيسيوم. تاخد بالنا ممكن جدا في الاسئله رايت wrong او correct يقول لي مغنيسيوم دايوكسيد، لا هو اسمه منجنيز دايوكسيد باودر. again تاني اسمه منجنيز دايوكسيد باودر in the presence of it as a catalyst. So let us see this image. I have here the image of the preparation of oxygen gas. Preparation of what? Oxygen gas. Number one will be the very important material or very important solution, which is the hydrogen peroxide. Number one هنا هي hydrogen peroxide أو مية الأكسجين. ممكن كمان نسميها oxygen water، ده اسمها التجاري، لكن اسمها العلمي hydrogen peroxide. Number two is the manganese dioxide powder. manganese dioxide هو black powder، هو يعني مسحوق أسود. Number three will be the water. I use water here in this experiment to collect oxygen because oxygen is scarcely dissolved in water. And at last number four will be the oxygen gas. At last of this experiment في نهاية التجربة هلاقي ان الاكسجين عمل حاجة اسمها down displacement للواتر، عمل ازاحة سفلية للمية، يعني بيزق المية لأسفل لانه ما بيدوبش في المية او مش بيحب المية. وقلنا اكتر من مره قبل كده في اكتر من حلقه ان العلاقه بين الاكسجين والميه علاقه سيئه جدا، مش بيحب الميه خالص، عشان كده بيعمل downward displacement للwater. again downward displacement water. So here I have 4 labels and I have another question. What is this gas? What is the produced gas? The produced gas will be oxygen gas. Again the produced gas will be oxygen gas. So let me write this label. Here I have the produced gas or the gas. Let us write the gas will be oxygen gas, oxygen gas, and number one will be hydrogen peroxide. Number one will be hydrogen peroxide, or ممكن كمان اسميها اسم تاني، سميناها oxygen water, oxygen water. Number two will be manganese dioxide باودر. تاني باكد بليز ناخد بالنا كويس قوي من السبيلنج. manganese كتير قوي اسئله رايت رونج او كوريكت بيبقى الغلطه فيها في السبيلنج نفسه، يعني هو كتب اسم مشابه المنجنيز شويه لكن مش هو منجنيز. اوكي manganese dioxide باودر، manganese dioxide باودر. اوكي manganese dioxide باودر. and here again please note don't write magnesium. اخد بالي كويس قوي من المنجنيز مش مغنيسيوم. and number 3 will be water. number 3 water. number 4 at last will be oxygen gas. oxygen gas. So here I have the preparation of oxygen gas and we have shown or we have seen a very important video about the preparation of oxygen gas in the oxygen gas episode. شفنا اكيد في حلقه الاكسجين ازاي بنحضر الاكسجين، واكيد انا واثق ان كتير قوي من مدرسينا او زملائنا حضروا oxygen gas during the lab او في اللاب with the students. So here I have the preparation of oxygen gas from what? From a very important material which is called hydrogen peroxide in the presence of manganese dioxide powder, manganese dioxide powder as a catalyst. So here I have a very important give reason question and also what's meant by. هنا عندي سؤالين مهمين قوي، سؤال give reason وسؤال what's meant by. Number one, let me write this. Give reason. The question says give reason. Oxygen is collected، يعني بيتجمع oxygen is collected by downward displacement of water. شفنا في الاكسبيرمنت او في الايمج من شويه ان الاكسجين بيعمل downward displacement للوتر، ازاحه سفليه للميه. طب ليه هو مش بيدوب في الميه؟ عشان هو فعلا علاقته بالميه سيئه جدا. هقدر اقول له كده because oxygen scarcely يعني نادرا scarcely dissolves in water. نادرا ما بيدوب في الميه. again because oxygen scarcely dissolves in water. الاكسجين نادرا ما بيدوب في الميه، مش بيحب الميه عشان كده بقدر اجمعه عن طريق downward displacement of water. That's the first question, give reason. And I have another question that has a relation with the oxygen gas. What's meant by catalyst؟ يعني ايه catalyst او تعريف الكاتاليست؟ سؤال مهم جدا. ممكن اكتب اكتر من definition ليه، وقلت اكتر مره بنحب قوي الطالب الكرييتيف، الطالب المبدع يكتب definition from his own mind، من مخه هو شخصيا، مش لازم اللي في الكتاب بالظبط، لكن بكتبه زي ما انا فاهمه بالظبط او زي ما انا درسته. So again, what's meant by catalyst؟ catalyst يعني ايه؟ It's a chemical substance that increases the speed of the reaction without being changed. That's the first definition. So I can write this. Catalyst, نكتب مع بعض. Catalyst is what? Is a chemical substance. Is a chemical substance. هو مادة كيميائية كان كل دورها في الرياكشن انها تزود بس سرعة التفاعل that increases the speed of the reaction without being changed، بدون ما هو نفسه بيتغير. يعني for example لو هو دخل 10 جرام بيطلع 10 جرام after the experiment. لو دخل باودر black powder سائل او مسحوق اسود هو برضه هيطلع black powder مسحوق اسود. So I can say the catalyst doesn't change، ما بيتغيرش during the chemical reaction because its function only، هو ليه وظيفة واحدة بس to increase the speed of the reaction، يزود سرعة التفاعل بس مش أكتر من كده. So I can write another definition for the catalyst again. Catalyst again نكتب مع بعض برضه عشان تعريف مهم جدا، وقلت أكتر مرة بنحب الطالب الكرييتيف. Catalyst is a chemical substance that remains يعني بيبقى without a change، بيبقى بلا تغيير without a change in what? In its properties، في خواصه properties and quantity. زي ما قلت هو لو دخل 10 جرام هيطلع 10 grams. Properties and quantity after or during the reaction. So again, catalyst is a chemical substance that remained without a change in its properties and quantity during or after the chemical reaction. So I can write in definition. يبقى في الديفينيشن بنطمنكم كويس قوي، انا مش بنصحح الديفينيشن زي ما مكتوب في الكتاب بالظبط، لكن بنصححه زي ما انت فاهمه او زي ما درسته اثناء this semester او during this term. So please be creative، خليك طالب مبدع. Revise again, read your lessons again more and more, and try to answer any questions that your hand reach to it. Okay, so another picture or another image for another gas which we have studied, which is the carbon dioxide gas. Carbon dioxide gas is the little or the least gas in the atmospheric air. It occupies about 0.03% only of the atmospheric air, and we have prepared this gas in our lab and also at our home from a very important experiment. So let us see this image. شوفوا الصورة مع بعض. I have here an image for carbon dioxide gas. Here, number one is what? Number one will be carbon dioxide gas. Number two is the hydrochloric acid or any acid available at your home. أي حمض متاح عندك في البيت such as vinegar زي الخل, such as lemon juice زي عصير ليمون, and also calcium carbonate. Also I have here at the bottom of the flask, في قاع الفلاسك ديت أو الدورق دوت هلاقي مادة كده لونها وايت باودر مسحوق أبيض، هي كالسيوم كربونات أو هي بالظبط نفس تركيب البيكنج باودر أو مشابه ليها جدا بنستخدمه أثناء making bread or making cake or such that. So here I have three data or three labels. Number one will be carbon dioxide gas. Number two will be the acid. ممكن كمان أكتب acid. خد بالك كويس قوي من الكلمة ديت يعني حمض hydrochloric acid. Number three will be calcium carbonate. So this gas is what? Is carbon dioxide gas. So let me write this label. نكتب مع بعض labels. Here is a gas. The gas is what? The gas is carbon dioxide gas. The gas is carbon dioxide gas. Or I can write CO2. أخد بالنا وأنا بكتب برضه CO2. Please write C capital, O capital, and 2 is subscribed or بنسميها تحت النص يعني أو كأنها small. لكن غلط جدا أكتب CO2. ده wrong. لازم تبقى ال O capital please. Okay. So here is the carbon dioxide gas or CO2 gas. Number one is what? Number one will be carbon dioxide gas again. Number two will be the hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid. Number three at last will be calcium carbonate or any carbonate material, any salt that contains carbonate inside it, such as calcium carbonate, sodium carbonate, or calcium bicarbonate, or sodium bicarbonate. وده عندنا available في البيت متاح جدا هو baking powder. So here we have shown or we have seen a very important images that illustrates the important drawings or important experiments that you have done at your in this your study during this semester. So now let us move to another question or a new type of question, which is complete the following sentences. Complete the following sentences. Please, I advise you in this question. بنصحكم نصيحة مهمة قوي. Read the question till the end word before you answer any word. لازم اقرا السؤال للآخر كويس قوي قبل ما اجاوب أي نقطة فيه. Why or give reason? Because you may need a special arrangement. ممكن تكون محتاج ترتيب خاص في الأسئلة، أو ممكن تحتاج أو لما تقرا السؤال للآخر يكون عندك new knowledge معرفة جديدة للسؤال. فبليز ما ينفعش أجاوب complete إلا لما أقرا السؤال لآخر كلمة فيه. Now let's start with this type of question. Number one, the human skeletal system consists of point and point. الجهاز الهيكلي في الإنسان بيتكون من إيه وإيه. Surely it will consist of axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. axial skeleton الهيكل المحوري and appendicular skeleton الهيكل الطرفي. وقلنا قبل كده أكتر مرة axial skeleton consists of three main parts which are skull جمجمة, backbone العمود الفقري أو الفقاري, and at last the rib cage القفص الصدري. So what about the appendicular skeleton? Appendicular skeleton consists of two main parts which are upper limbs الأطراف العلوية and also the lower limbs الأطراف السفلية. So here again the question says the human skeletal system consists of what and what? Surely it will be the axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. Another question. The axial skeleton consists of what and what, or space and space. Surely, as I said before, skull الجمجمة, backbone العمود الفقري or vertebral column نفس المعنى. backbone هو نفس معنى vertebral column أو العمود الفقري, and at last the rib cage القفص الصدري. So again, the axial skeleton consists of three main parts which are skull, backbone, and at last the rib cage. Another question says the axon of the nerve cell is surrounded by what sheath? The axon, as we have seen in the first image today or in this episode, is covered by myelin sheath. يعني ايه myelin sheath؟ طبقة دهنية بنسميها طبقة المايلين، طبقة مهمة جدا that protect the axon inside the cells. هي طبقة بتحمي الاكسون داخل السيلز، وهي اللي بتغطي او بتعمل cover للاكسون سيل، وهي عبارة عن units. هي مش طبقة واحدة، هي عبارة عن units وحدات separated that cover the axon of the nerve cell. And again, I remind you بفكركم that nerve cell or the neuron consists of two main parts which are cell body جسم الخلية and also the axon. بتتكون من جزئين هما جسم الخلية والمحور. Again, the nerve cell consists of cell body and the axon. And the axon again here in this question says that is surrounded by myelin sheath. الأكسون مغطى أو محاط بطبقة اسمها myelin sheath. Another question. The points is the site of two bonds meeting. يعني ايه هو المكان اللي بيتقابل فيه two bonds أو مكان التقاء عظمتين. Surely it will be the joint أو المفصل. And also we have studied that joint has three types. الجوينت فيها ثلاث أنواع. Number one is the immovable joint مفصل غير متحرك such as the skull joint. فيش غير example واحد بس في جسمنا هو مفاصل الجمجمة لأنها خلاص التحمت بقت joint أو بقت joined دلوقتي متصلة. Number two, slightly movable joint مفصل محدود الحركة that move in one direction only such as the knee joint and elbow joint. And at last the freely movable joint or widely movable joint such as the shoulder joint, such as the thigh or hip joint. So here again, joint is the site of 2 bones meeting. الجوينت هو مكان التقاء 2 bones أو عظمتين مع بعض. So again, note that joint is very important in movement because it allows the movement in different or in some directions according to its type. Another question. The gray matter in the spinal cord appears in the letter or in the shape of the letter H. Surely it will be the gray matter in the spinal cord appears in the shape of the letter H. Another question. Point gas is used in filling car tires, but point gas is used in dry ice. مين هو الجاس بستخدمه في ملء طائر السيارات؟ ومين هو الجاس اللي بيدخل في صناعة الدراي ايس أو التلج الجاف؟ Surely nitrogen gas is used in car tires, but carbon dioxide gas is used in dry ice. So here I have a question in this point. Give reason question. The question says that give reason nitrogen gas is used in filling car tire. ليه بستخدم nitrogen gas في ملء طائرات السيارات؟ Give reason. Let me write this question. Let us write with ourselves. نكتب مع بعض. Give reason. Nitrogen gas is used in filling car tires. سؤال مهم جدا. ليه بستخدم nitrogen instead of air بدلا من الهواء filling car tires? Surely the answer will be that because nitrogen or N2 nitrogen has constant volume حجمه ثابت if temperature changes. Or I can write because nitrogen volume doesn't or isn't affected ما بيتأثرش by changing temperature. So here again nitrogen has a constant volume حجمه ثابت مهما الجو وحرارته اتغيرت عشان كده بيحافظ على الcar tires without changing in its volume, and it's very important in till 100 Celsius or in some cases 200 Celsius. Another question. The thermometer which is used in measuring temperature of liquids and atmosphere. Again, the thermometer used in measuring temperature of liquid and atmosphere. Surely it will be the Celsius thermometer. Again, the thermometer used in measuring the temperature of liquids and atmosphere, it will be the Celsius 1 أو thermometer المئوي اللي بيبدأ من 0 till 100 Celsius. Another question. The brain consists of cerebrum, what and what? We know that the brain أو المخ أو زي ما سميناه الجهاز المخي. أنا بحب أوي التسمية ديت لأن المخ بس هو cerebrum. البرين بيكون من cerebrum, cerebellum, and also medulla oblongata. Again, the brain consists of cerebrum, cerebellum, and also at last the medulla oblongata. And we have studied each function of each one of them. So I remind you, cerebrum is responsible for what? Responsible for violent or voluntary actions أو أفعال إرادية, voluntary actions such as walking, such as running, such as eating, and so on. And also cerebrum برضه مسؤول عن sense organs أعضاء الحواس. And the cerebrum also is responsible for thinking and memory, التفكير والذاكرة. يبقى cerebrum أو المخ أو النصفان الكرويان زي ما سميناهم كده two cerebral hemisphere مسؤولين عن 3 وظائف في الإنسان. Number 1 voluntary actions or voluntary processes أفعال إرادية. Number 2 sense organ أعضاء الحواس such as hearing, talking or tasting, touching, and so on. And also is responsible for thinking and memory التفكير والذاكرة. So what about cerebellum أو المخيخ which is found at the back area of the brain. هو موجود في المنطقة الخلفية. It's responsible for balance or keeping the balance of the body توازن الجسم only. And at last medulla oblongata is responsible for the involuntary actions or involuntary processes inside the body, such as heartbeats, such as movement of digestive system, such as blood circulation, and so on. أي حركة أو أي أفعال لا إرادية inside the body داخل الجسم مسؤول عنها medulla oblongata. لكن نفرق كويس قوي بين أي أفعال لا إرادية أو involuntary action أو involuntary response outside the body or from the body, which is done by the spinal cord. لو خارج الجسم بيقوم بيها spinal cord، لكن داخل الجسم أو داخل ال systems inside the body بيقوم بيها medulla oblongata. Another question. The energy that transfers from hot object to the cold object is the what? It will be the heat energy. Heat energy أو الطاقة الحرارية is the energy that transfers from hot object to the cold object. Another question. The degree of hotness or coldness of a body is what? The degree of hotness or coldness of a body, surely it will be the temperature. Temperature أو درجة الحرارة. It will be the degree of hotness or coldness of the body. هي تقريبا أو بنسميها هي درجة سخونة أو برودة أي جسم. Again, temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of a body. Another question. The gas which is used in manufacturing of ammonia, manufacturing يعني تصنيع الأمونيا، عارفين الأمونيا يعني النشادر والغاز اللي موجود فيها. Surely it will be the nitrogen gas. Nitrogen gas is used in manufacturing of ammonia. Nitrogen gas is used in manufacturing of ammonia. Another question. This question is very important. Please note this question. ناخد بالنا السؤال ده مهم قوي. Preparation of nitrogen gas depends on the removal of what and what gases from air. Again, the question says preparation of nitrogen gas depend on the removal of what and what gases from air. يعني تحضير غاز نيتروجين بيعتمد على إزالة غازات A و A من الهواء. Surely we know that air contains nitrogen, oxygen and carbon dioxide. So if we have removed, لو شلنا من الهواء oxygen gas and carbon dioxide gas, at last we will have nitrogen gas. So here preparation of nitrogen gas depend on the removal of oxygen gas and also carbon dioxide gas from air. So if I removed لو شلنا من الهواء الأكسجين والcarbon dioxide, at last we will have nitrogen gas. So the preparation of nitrogen gas depend on the removal of oxygen and carbon dioxide gases from air. Another question. The gas which is used in manufacturing of soda water. The gas which is used in manufacturing of soda water, surely it will be carbon dioxide gas. But please note, this soda water is a very dangerous material for your health. Please try to decrease or to prevent manipulating the soda water or any soft beverage. لو سمحت نقلل المشروبات الغازية أو نمنعها تماما because it's very dangerous for your health, especially your bones. Again, هي مضرة جدا بالعظم، خصوصا بتسبب مرض اسمه ستيمولاسيا أو هشاشة العظام. So again, the gas which is used in manufacturing of soda water, it will be carbon dioxide gas. Another question. The gas which is used in respiration. Surely it's a very easy and simple question at the same time. ايه هو الغاز المستخدم في التنفس؟ ناخد بالنا هنا بيقول لي used in respiration، مش produced، مش ناتج من التنفس. used in, so it will be oxygen gas. The gas which is used in respiration, it will be oxygen gas. Another question. A chemical substance that absorbs carbon dioxide gas from air. هنا بيسألني عن المادة الكيميائية اللي بتمتص الكربون دايوكسيد جاس أثناء تحضير النيتروجين جاس. Surely it will be the sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. Again, a chemical substance that absorbs carbon dioxide gas from air, it will be sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide, it is the substance that absorbs carbon dioxide gas from air. Or another substance, في مادة ثانية تقريبا نفس التأثير، تقريبا نفس الإفكت، هي بوتاسيوم هيدروكسيد. ممكن كمان نكتب قبلها كلمة concentrated يعني مركزة، مش تفرق قوي في المعنى، لكن هي نفس التركيبة تقريبا. A chemical substance that absorbs carbon dioxide gas from air, it will be sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, or I can write again concentrated sodium hydroxide or concentrated potassium hydroxide. Another question. A substance that absorbs oxygen gas from air. A substance that absorbs oxygen gas from air. هنا برضو بيتكلم عن موضوع النيتروجين gas. مين المادة اللي بتمتص الأكسجين gas from air? It will be hot copper. Hot copper is a very important material that absorbs oxygen gas during the preparation of nitrogen gas from air. يبقى عشان كده عشان نحضر النيتروجين gas, we remove the two gases which are oxygen gas and carbon dioxide gas from air by hot copper to remove oxygen gas, and sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide to remove carbon dioxide gas. Another question. All metals are what conductors of heat? All metals are what conductors of heat? Surely all metals are good conductors of heat. All metals are good conductors of heat. Another question. Point conducts heat faster than aluminium. Point conducts heat faster than aluminium. يعني مين هو اللي بيوصل حرارة أسرع من الألمنيوم؟ Surely the copper metal is the best conducting heat material. The copper metal is the best conducting heat material. It conducts heat faster than aluminium and also faster than iron. هو بيوصل حرارة أسرع من الألمنيوم وكمان أسرع من الحديد أو الأيرون. Another question. Some examples of good conductors of heat are, we have known that iron, copper, aluminium, gold, silver, mercury, all metals. كل الميتال أو كل المعادن بتوصل الحرارة أو كمان بنسميها good conductors of heat. Again, some examples of good conductors of heat are iron and copper. Iron and copper. Another question. Some usages of good conductors of heat are point and point. Please note this question. هنا مش عايز examples، أنا عايز uses أو usage. يعني use أو usage يعني استخدام للجود conductor. يعني لو حد قال لي هنا في السؤال ده iron أو copper، sorry it's wrong. هنا يكون السؤال خطأ. ليه؟ أنا عايز uses استخدام للجود conductor. Such as what? Such as cooking pots أواني الطهي بعملها من الألمنيوم أو الستايل ستيل. كان في الأول دايز زمان قوي بنعملوها من الكوبر. and also tea boilers يعني براد الشاي أو غلاية الشاي. also أو الكاتل نفسها كمان also is made of good conductor of heat such as stainless steel, such as aluminum, such as iron, and so on. Another question. The question says, some examples of bad conductor of heat. Some examples of bad conductor. هنا عايز examples مش عايز uses. Surely I have many examples of bad conductors such as wood, plastic, wool اللي هو الصوف, wood, plastic, wool, glass, air, water, and so on. So some examples of bad conductor of heat are wood and plastic. Another question. The question says, some uses or some usages of bad conductors of heat are. ايه هو استخدام الباد conductor؟ هنا برضو بأكد مش عايز examples، أنا عايز uses استخدام. Such as what? Such as handles of cooking pots يعني يد أو مقبض أواني الطهي. and also the heavy clothes الملابس تقيلة are also bad conductor because they are made of or they are manufactured from wood or sorry wool. ما هي بتصنع من الصوف عشان هو bad conductor of heat. Again, some usages of bad conductor of heat such as handles of cooking pots and also heavy clothes. Another example. Mass is measured by points whereas weight is measured by point. هنا السؤال ده بيعمل confusion كتير مع الطلبة. بليز ناخد بالنا لو قال لي measured by أنا هنا عايز اليونت ولا الجهاز. surely أنا هنا عايز الجهاز الديفايس. لكن measured in هي اللي بحتاج فيها اليونت such as measured in gram, measured in kilogram. اوكي يبقى ناخد بالنا لو قلنا اكتر مره قبل كده measured by بحتاج الديفايس او الجهاز او التول اللي هستخدمها عشان اقيس بيها الماس او الويت. لكن measured in بستخدمها عشان اليونت. so mass is measured by balance scale or sensitive to arm scale اي جهاز درسناه اي ميزان. whereas weight is measured by only spring scale. الويت بيتقاس عن طريق ميزان اسمه spring scale وعرفنا شكله كويس قوي واكيد شفناه في اللاب اثناء الدراسه. so again mass is measured by balance scale whereas weight is measured by spring scale. mass is measured by balance scale whereas weight is measured by spring scale. Another question. mass is constant and is not affected by. هنا السؤال بيقول لي الماس ثابته او قيمه ثابته او constant value ما بتتاثرش بايه؟ ما بتتاثرش اكيد بالفاكتور اللي بتاثر على الويت such as place. so again I can say mass is constant value and is not affected by changing the place. so imagine that if your mass here on the earth is 50 kilogram, your mass will be also 50 kilogram on the moon. Your mass will be also 50 kilogram on Jupiter, on any planet, on any place in the universe في أي مكان في الدنيا كلها أو في الكون كله your mass doesn't change. Why? Because mass isn't affected by changing the place. الماس ما بتتأثرش بتغيير المكان. Another question. The question says an object width depends on هنا بيقول لي depend on يعني يعتمد على، يعني بيحتاج مني اكتب factors. يعني factors العوامل بتأثر على الويت، ايه اللي بيأثر على الويت او ايه هم الفاكتورز او العوامل اللي بتأثر على الويت. So it will be place and mass or mass and the place. So I can say an object weight depends on its mass and the place. An object weight depends on its mass and the place. Another question. In this question, please note oxygen gas is consumed. الأكسجين gas أو غاز الأكسجين is consumed بيستهلك يعني بيستخدم during point and point processes أثناء عمليات زي إيه وإيه. Surely respiration التنفس and also burning or combustion process. Burning أو combustion الاحتراق أو عملية الاشتعال already بتحتاج أو بتستخدم غاز الأكسجين. So again oxygen gas is consumed during respiration and burning processes. Oxygen gas is consumed during respiration and burning processes. Another question. Carbon dioxide gas is prepared in laboratory by adding what to what? Carbon dioxide gas is prepared in laboratory by adding what to what? إزاي بنحضر الكربون دايوكسيد؟ I said before more and more by adding any acids أي حمض available at your home أو available at your lab such as vinegar, such as lemon or such as hydrochloric acid. To what? To calcium carbonate. So I can prepare إزاي نحضر الكربون دايوكسيد by adding hydrochloric acid. إن أنا بضيف hydrochloric acid to what? To calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is added or hydrochloric acid is added to calcium carbonate to prepare carbon dioxide gas. And we know that carbon dioxide gas doesn't help in burning. So it's used in what? It's used in fire extinguisher. بيستخدم في إطفاء الحرائق أو في طفايات الحريق. Why? Because it doesn't assist or it doesn't help burning. ما بيساعدش في الاشتعال. And it's opposite to oxygen gas. هو هنا عكس الأكسجين تماما. الأكسجين helps burning. So we must take care. Oxygen gas must be prevented from fires. So again, the question says carbon dioxide gas is prepared in laboratory by adding hydrochloric acid to calcium carbonate. Another question. Another type of question. Justify. Justify هي بالضبط نفس معنى give reason. And I know some of you are afraid of this question because it needs more language and more understanding of science. So please let us practice on some question of this give reason. So ما نخافش من السؤال دوت، ما نخافش من السؤال دوت بليز، ونقراه اكتر من مره ونتدرب عليه كتير جدا. فهنتدرب على كميه معقوله منه النهارده، وان شاء الله الحلقه الجايه هنتكلم عن كميه ثانيه منه. Number one question says although يعني بالرغم من oxygen is consumed during respiration its percentage remains stable in the atmosphere. يعني بالرغم من الاكسجين بيستهلك في التنفس لكن نسبته بتبقى ثابته في الهواء، هو 21% يعني ما بيخلصش. معنى السؤال كده ليه الاكسجين جاس consumed during respiration لكن هو stable او هو لسه still معانا في الكره الارضيه؟ ليه ما بيخلصش؟ Because we have a very important organism. عندنا كائن مهم جدا، كائن بنحبه كلنا قوي وبليز لازم ناخد بالنا منه and take care of this organism which is the plant, because plants or green plants produce oxygen gas during photosynthesis process. عشان غاز الاكسجين بينتج او اسف سوري النبات الاخضر بينتج غاز الاكسجين during photosynthesis process. So again the reason because plants produce oxygen gas during photosynthesis process. Another question. Oxygen is created or is collected. الاكسجين بيتجمع by displacing the water down flask preparation at the laboratory. ليه الاكسجين بيتجمع عن طريق ازاحه سفليه للميه؟ السؤال ده انا قلته من شويه كتبناه كمان في الحلقه النهارده. because oxygen gas scarcely dissolves in water. Because oxygen gas scarcely dissolves in water. Because oxygen gas scarcely لانه نادرا ما بيدوب في الميه. Another question. The atmosphere has a great importance for the continuity of life on the planet Earth. atmosphere ليه أهمية كبيرة جدا في استمرار الحياة على الأرض. يعني الاتموسفير ليه مهم؟ I can write many importance for the atmosphere such as that because atmosphere protects us from ultraviolet radiation. واحنا عارفين كويس قوي الالترافايولت هي اشعه اغلبها ضار، في اشعه منها مفيده هنعرفها ان شاء الله in primary 2 سوري in prep 2 اسف، في تانية اعدادي ان شاء الله هندرس كل انواع الالترافايولت، ايه المفيد منها وايه الضار، لكن اغلبها بيكون للاسف very harmful او very dangerous. So again because atmosphere protects us from ultraviolet radiation. Another question. The question says carbon dioxide gas is used to extinguish fire. السؤال ده قلنا النهارده تعرضنا له اكتر من مره. carbon dioxide gas ليه بيطفي الحرائق؟ because carbon dioxide gas doesn't help in burning، ما بيساعدش في الاشتعال. هو كده عكس الاكسجين تماما، is the opposite to oxygen because again carbon dioxide gas doesn't help in burning، لان الكربون دايوكسيد جاز ما بيساعدش في الاشتعال. Another question or another type of question, write the scientific term. In this question I advise you، بنصحكم في السؤال ده please read the question carefully especially the first word or the first word. السؤال ده تقريبا مفتاح الحل فيه بيكون اول كلمه او اول كلمتين. The main component of protein substance. The main component of protein substance يعني المكون الرئيسي في البروتين it will be nitrogen gas. The main component of protein substance it will be nitrogen gas. Nitrogen gas is the main component of protein substance. Another question. The layer of the atmosphere that protects the earth from the harmful radiations coming from the sun. The layer of the atmosphere طبقة موجودة في الغلاف الجوي بتحمينا من ultraviolet radiation أو الأشعة الضارة such as I said before. It will be the ozone layer, surely ozone layer. It will be the layer of the atmosphere that protects the earth from the harmful radiation coming from the sun. Another question. The gas which is used in baking bread. The gas which is used in baking bread الغاز المستخدم في صناعة الخبز. It will be the carbon dioxide gas. Again, the gas which is used in baking bread, it will be carbon dioxide gas. So by this question, I'm afraid we have reached the end of this episode. So I remind you, we have revised today a very important selection of questions such as complete, such as label the following diagram, such as give reason the question which some of you are afraid from this question. Please practice this question more and more and try to read the question carefully and you will answer the question carefully inshallah. So I promised you to have another episode next Thursday at the same time, and I will have a very important another collection of questions next Thursday. So now thank you and good